a return to yourself and any conflicts about it.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Surprise! Hello from vacation. Not actually, I haven't left yet, but I am pre-recording 2 special editions as a little surprise for you. To thank you for being my loyal listener, and I hope you are ready now for your daily dose of inspiration and positivity, even though it's not daily this week, just a day or two. But I just enjoyed so much going over some excerpts from You're a Badass last week. I thought maybe I could do it again a little bit this week with my new obsession, Untamed by Glennon Doyle. I'm not sure if you guys are enjoying this as much as I am, but I am loving reading from these books. I've learned so much from these books. Now, if you're not familiar with Glennon Doyle, apparently this is my first Glennon Doyle book. She was the author of Love Warrior, and she, while writing this book, decided to leave her husband, and she discovered that she was in love with a woman. And all of this whole book is about being put in certain boxes and cages and being told what you are supposed to think, how we are all supposed to think, and breaking out of that mold. That's what this whole book is about. And I found one of these to be so interesting. I wanted to share it with you because, she gets a lot of pushback for having, I believe it's 3 children, and leaving her husband and marrying a fellow woman. So in the chapter titled Conflict, she says, I received an email recently from an old acquaintance at the church I left. It said, can I ask you something? I know that you and Abby love each other so much. It's really something. At the same time, I still believe that gayness is wrong. I want to be able to love you unconditionally, but I'd have to abandon my beliefs. What am I supposed to do with this God conflict? I felt for her. She was saying, I want to be free to love you, but I'm caged in my beliefs. So I wrote this back. First of all, thank you for knowing that you have a choice to make. Thank you for not landing on, I love you, but. We know that love has no buts. If you want to change me, you do not love me. If you feel warm toward me, but also believe I'm going to burn in hell, you do not love me. If you wish me well, but vote against my family being protected by the law, you do not love me. Thank you for understanding that to love me as yourself means to want for me and my family every good thing you want for yourself and your family. Anything less than that is less than love. So yes, I agree that you have a choice to make. You have to choose between loving me and keeping your beliefs. Thank you for being intellectually honest about that. Second, I understand this conflict because I've experienced it. I still do. For a while, I felt scared because I thought the God conflict was me challenging God. Now I know that it was God in me challenging religion. It was my true self-awakening and saying, wait, this thing I've been taught to believe about God, about myself, about others, it doesn't fit with what I know from my roots about love. What do I do? Do I reject what I know from my roots or what I was taught to believe? I can only tell you what I've come to know for myself. Returning to ourselves is confusing at first. It's not as simple as listening for the voices inside of us. Because sometimes the voices inside of us, which we've assumed speak truth, are just the voices of human beings who told us what to believe. Often the internal voice telling us who God is and what God approves of is not God. It's our indoctrination. It's an echo of the voice of a teacher, a parent, a preacher, someone who has claimed to represent God to us. Many of those people have been well-meaning, and others have only sought to control us. Either way, not a single one of them has been God's appointed spokesperson. Not a single one of them has more God in her than you do. There is no church that owns God. There is no religion that owns God. There are no gatekeepers. None of this is easy. There is no outsourcing your faith. There is just you and God. Some of the hardest and most important work of our lives is learning to separate the voices of teachers from wisdom, propaganda from truth, fear from love, and in this case, the voices of God's self-appointed representatives from the voice of God herself. When choosing between something you know and something other people taught you to believe, choose what you know. As Whitman said, re-examine all you have been told in school or church or in any book and dismiss whatever insults your own soul. Having the courage to dismiss what insults your soul is a matter of life or death. If those who claim to speak for God or truth can convince you to believe instead of know, to live from their rules instead of your roots, to trust the voices of middlemen instead of the still small voice inside you, then they control you. If they can get you to mistrust yourself, to stop feeling, deny knowing, quit imagining, and instead rely only on them, then they get you to act against your own soul. If that happens, they can get you to follow them, vote with them, condemn for them, even kill for them, all in the name of this God who is constantly whispering to you, that is not exactly it. Perhaps the God conflict is not just about God. Perhaps it is God. So listen deep. Back to me now. One of the reasons I love the book, The Da Vinci Code, so much is not because it was an incredible story, which I think it was an incredible story. But when I read that book, it was the first time I was encouraged to challenge my belief in something I had been taught and told my whole life. And that was about the Catholic Church and about how way back in the day, it was the women that were revered, mostly for their ability to produce life, to grow life, and deliver it to the world. And then suddenly, men decided, we don't like this. We think it'd be better if we were in control. And that's just like a short little, summation of what I'm talking about. And I don't know why it had never occurred to me to even question it. I don't know if it was the way I was raised or if I didn't have the right types of classes I just was never a questioning type of person, especially as a child. I have to think it has something to do with my upbringing, just in the fact of, do as you're told. Don't question me. Don't question. And I didn't. And now I look back and I think there's so many things I should have been questioning all along. Why does God give us a logical mind and a mouth if we're not supposed to question? Just some of the things that I've thought about throughout the years. Thought that was a great passage. I hope you enjoyed it. As I'm on my vacation this week, I will ask you again, please, please, please interact with the group page. Please post a happy meme. Please post a happy quote, something that will inspire and bring positivity to the group in my absence. I have scheduled I think a post a day, scheduled them ahead of time. I am trying to commit to no Facebook for a week. Trying. So I thank you for tuning in for my special surprise episode. And whatever you are doing this week, I hope you are enjoying it. I hope you are being a badass about it, because we all know you are a badass. And I'm right here cheering you on.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.